right, Fantasy Bros, welcome back to the Fantasy Football Astrology channel. Thanks for tuning in. I got a lot of nice, sweet treats here for you on the Week 6 waiver wire ads. Okay, so if you stay tuned with me, I'm going to reveal my top pick. I don't think you're hearing on any other channel. It's really important to be considering this player right now, and I'll explain all that as well as some other names I'm going to drop that aren't even on the list. So if you are sticking through and you're listening to the whole video, you get a little bonus there. If you don't have the time, you can see the list here. And I'm going to get into all the nitty gritty. I'm going to explain my board here. Guys, we're 4-1. We're turning our season around. We're making it happen. We're in first place right now. That's good. You know, we got to brag on this channel. Let you guys know that you're not listening to an absolute fool, but of course I'm that too. So, we're using astrology on this channel to give you guys a deeper insight as well. If you're new to the channel, hey, thanks for tuning in. Stick around for a while. You might learn something. And so let's get into it. Right off the top of the list, guys, an astrology brag right from the top. Kadarius Toney, okay, as an Aquarius. Guys, I've been talking about Kadarius Toney since he was first drafted. He was the highest drafted wide receiver that actually had really good chemistry with this quarterback. Talking about two air signs, Gemini going to Aquarius. That's what we like to see in astrology. Show us that compatibility there first, and then we can really consider them even in a stronger way. So I was a Kadarius recipient last week. I already picked him up. I hope you guys did too. And so that's what it is, guys. Expect more moving forward. Don't be worried about Slayton. If I were you and you had a lot of fab and you're spending, or you got a waiver pick and you're spending, get Kadarius Toney. Don't be shy. This is the week to get him. Last week really would have been the week, but this week you're going to have to pay the price, and I think he's absolutely worth it. I'm not worried about Slayton. Slayton's going to create more space for Kadarius Toney as far as I'm concerned, as more of a deep threat. And the other guys being injured, they just don't bring the same skill set to the table that Kadarius does. He's going to be, you know, almost that Wes Welker guy who can just cut outs and just stay open, you know, all the time. So getting a lot of targets, he's showing that off. And so get in on Kadarius Toney. That's kind of a no-brainer, guys. Moving in on my next brag, Khalil Herbert as a Taurus. Perfect astrology with Nagy. Really good astrology with Fields. Astrology all across the board with this offensive line. I've been talking about this Khalil Herbert guy since the preseason, okay, because he looks good. He's got great astrology. And another pattern I've been noticing, I've been talking about him. I've been talking about Jerick McKinnon. All these injuries have been occurring, right? I'm talking about Kadarius Toney. These injuries that have been occurring to allow the ones who have the best astrology to kind of come forward. So something new to consider there. For my fellow astrologers who watch the channel, is life kind of moving around for us so we have the most compatible situations arise? It's interesting to consider. So moving on to Ramondre Stevenson, guys, consider him pretty strongly this week. If that Harris injury if Harris is out for a week or two, I think Ramondre actually could be a very strong play with the potential to even take over that role. Here's the thing. New England plans for the running backs really well, okay? They know how to get guys in space. It's not like the Colts who are just taking their space-oriented players and they're trying to run them right up the gut, you know, right into like a 12, 13-man jumbo set or whatever, okay? These guys, I think, are going to do a better job with Ramondre Stevenson, getting him in space, and he can take advantage of it, okay? He's got that breakaway speed. His astrology is just fine and dandy, so we're all green there. If he's going to be the starting back in New England, we want to get our hands on Ramondre, okay? Hunter Henry, here's another really obvious ad. He was available in my league, so if he's available in your league and you need tight end help, don't even think about it. Get your hands on Hunter Henry. He's probably not going to be available in leagues after this week. So he's the clear ahead and a favorite ahead of Jonnu Smith. You can cut Jonnu Smith as far as I care. Get your hands on Hunter Henry, though. This type of offense is going to lend itself to a lot of usage out of the tight end for that Mac Jones. He's that decision maker who's going to really take the safe pick. Get your hands on Hunter Henry, okay? Devonta Booker, I've got him all the way down here at the bottom of my list. I know he's going to be on the top of a lot of people's lists this week, but you got to consider New York was probably game planning heavily for Saquon Barkley usage, okay? They're probably had to thrust Devonta Booker into a more expanded role than usual. He didn't have great efficiency. He had 2 touchdowns that really boosted his score there. So I'm not expecting big things out of Devonta Booker. That offensive line doesn't impress me that much. Further reason to get in on Kadarius Toney, okay? So that's what you have here with kind of the players that you know. And these are the players that I feel like the other channels aren't really talking about as much, okay? So I do tune into the other channels to try to see. They're really good at giving you like an overall kind of information base, and I really appreciate them for that. And so what I try to do is I try to find things that they're not talking about and give you that little side edge as well, okay? So thanks for tuning in. I'm trying to hook you guys up and keep you guys in on that deep loop, right? This is all reflective of my league, and I play in a 12-man league. So that's why the names on here are probably going to be a little bit deeper than most. So let's get into it. Jerick McKinnon, I've already talked about a little bit. He might get it maybe a 60-40 split. He's looked really good, physical, blocking, pass blocking. He's been really physical. He's running through contact. He's got the best astrology over Darrell Williams. And so Darrell Williams isn't available in my league, or I'd have him on here too. He's another really, must add, but wasn't available in my league. But I did include Jerick McKinnon here with some potential to emerge, okay? Michael Gallup, number 5. Michael Gallup, I don't expect him to come back off an injury this Sunday, but the Sunday after this, I think he's going to return, guys. And so we already saw in game 1, he really opens this offense up, especially for CeeDee Lamb. He's got that really fast speed that's going to stretch the field out more. And they're really using him a lot, Prescott really showed a favoritism in game 1, I thought. That Fix does like to move towards that mutable, right? Dak Prescott's at Leo, and that Fix will always kind of want to go into a mutable zone, okay? So that makes a lot of sense astrologically, and so we like Michael Gallup. If he's sitting there in your waiver wire, do not hesitate. Next week will probably be too late to get him, okay? So get him before everyone else does. Okay, number 4, Trevor Lawrence. A lot of guys are, I think, out on Trevor Lawrence already. They've given up on him, okay? But I watched him this last game, and he was playing with an absolute fire and an absolute passion, okay? So I think what I saw, he was in the beginning of the season saying, I'm just a cool cucumber. I don't take this all that seriously. Well, last Sunday he was taking it seriously, and he was looking pretty good too. So that's what you have with Trevor Lawrence. I'm kind of in on him. He's a good spot start this week if you need against Miami. I'm actually starting to trust Trevor Lawrence more after seeing his performance, okay? Also, with that, Dan Arnold has begun to emerge. If we missed the Dawson Knox train like I did, and although I recommended him on the channel, I didn't have space on my team, but the usage with Dawson Knox was so high, it was pointing towards good things, as well as his astrology was pointing towards good things. Well, Dan Arnold's usage is looking similar to that of Knox, where he's getting a lot of targets. He got 8 targets, I think 6 receptions, and I think that coaching staff is trying to favor him, as well as Trevor Lawrence has displayed a favoritism towards his tight ends, especially even in the red zone. So something to consider there. Dan Arnold, I really like him if you need tight end help, and Dawson Knox is gone, so check out Dan Arnold, okay? Number 2, Marlon Mack. If you've been watching this channel, you probably already know. A little update on him, though. Kansas City has been reported to be looking at Marlon Mack, okay? So that's what you have. They've already agreed to a trade. Marlon Mack feels like he wants to be a starter on a team somewhere. And so Kansas City's considering him. I'm sure there's probably other teams in the league considering him, maybe even the New York Giants, maybe even whoever's been affected by the injury bug, the Ravens, maybe the Rams are considering him. Who knows? But wherever he goes, he gets alpha duties. You really want to see if you can store Marlon Mack. Okay, so finally, guys, my big reveal on the video. Number 1 player that I haven't heard other channels talking about, but we need to be seriously considering this player, okay? And I'll go ahead and write it in, okay? It's Derrius Guice, okay? Derrius Guice. I'll say it again, Derrius Guice. Okay? Derrius Guice is on a 6-game suspension. Okay. But so if we get him this week, we're probably pretty safe to be able to get Derrius Guice this week. It should go without saying why to pick up this guy. We don't really even need to consider the astrology that much. This guy is a very talented guy, right in the prime of his youth. And so if he lands on a team, look out, okay? I really like the potential of Derrius Guice. Surprised I haven't seen his name come up or being mentioned that much, but consider me in on that stash as well. A couple names, thanks for making it to the end of the video. A couple names I didn't talk about. Darrynton Evans. If you're a Derrick Henry owner, Darrynton Evans is coming back off of injury here pretty soon. Remember, they used a pretty high draft capital on Darrynton Evans, and he's had a reawakening in his life. So he's that's a powerful thing for anybody to experience. And so, hashtag blessed on Darrynton Evans. I hope to see big things coming out of him. Could be a good stash, especially if Derrick Henry goes down. You're talking about a big inheritance there. And although McNichols is also another one to consider for an ad. Another name I didn't include on the list. Let's see. Jeff Wilson Jr., guys. We should be knowing about these names. These guys coming off of injury. Rashad Bateman as well. Definitely want to consider those guys. So thanks for hanging in there till the end, and I'll see you guys in the next one.